fracture. Tom,
That's pretty cool.
Simple question, because the chat seemed to go back and forth in the vote. Who's the favorite coming into this?
Right. Last map.
They were favorites
So
at the beginning.
2-2. The Pistols are at 4-4.
And now
And Vitality on defense, Liquid on attack. Liquid have gone for their default over towards Arcade that normally works out well. And Vitality go for a topside crunch. Yeah, and this is nice as well, because if Liquid feel like their default over towards Arcade can't work, that's like the round that they just always fall back on. Just splitting over towards B.
The initiative of both of these teams evolves and is in effect throughout this map. Already seeing north side crunches, and we've seen so much defensive aggression in these rounds. It's left to a 3v2. Kiko and Nats have a firing squad to come up against the shots. Well, at least one of them lands
lovely
in their
shots
favor.
from Vitality.
Quickly
This was good as well. They managed to get like
1-0
round this corner before the util hit.
I think we've seen how important strong starts have been for either side. Think about the maps that they've been winning, the first 2 9-3s that came up.
Wait, they're on defense, right? So 5-4.
Basically blitzing through the pistol has really been a defining factor for either of these squads.
Dude, they do not buy much into this. Look at this one.
We have witnessed maps where we've gone into it as, okay, Liquid have played this, Liquid have the reps, and Vitality have the tape. Well, there's been 4 maps of this, granted a big compositional shift, as they were running 0 duelists on the Liquid side for the first 2 games, which I didn't enjoy. But the new
They choose the site where there's only 2.
But it's been seen, and that's definitely a scary
And what are the actual guns
prospect.
here?
Back to that Lotus game we saw earlier.
Okay, they bought an extra gun into it.
It seemed like Vitality threw the book at Liquid. In this round, expectations are minimal. And with less
Wait, how is Kick so low? What happened there? He run back into the Teo damage?
Vitality challenge down below that rope is not yet being seen. Pad attack, despite being tagged up earlier, he's waiting to make a play. Round comes the rest of the squad. It's going to be a challenge.
That is a gun down.
Darker
has given him one out of the 2 guns. Patsy gets owned in heaven as well. Sorry, Patsy owns Trex in heaven. Camo didn't go pick up the gun because they have no idea about the numbers behind it.
Certainly kept competitive, and with the range he has, a nice dodge of the flash, he should be cleaning up the rest of these players.
Damn, dude, I really think they should have like cancelled, not commit over towards site and try go for this gun.
They have to get their running shoes on fairly quick. Maybe
Don't know if he knew that it was a bulldog,
gone.
but I think so.
There's nothing really left to save. No, they are. They're making
Kamek,
that run.
do you have time for this?
Back to the other side of the map. This is going to come down to a matter of seconds, and yeah, if there's any utility put into place here, I don't know if he's going to have time.
Oh, I think looking back there might have. Yeah, I think he could have made your pathing better. I think he messed it up.
Once you see that 4 disappear on top of your screen, it's over.
The problem was he was like kind of unsure if someone would be watching him.
Padatech was waiting, I thought, waiting for the fault line to come back online to put that in to cause a bit of an issue. Where they think it's a B play, they stay in position, they rotate, but ultimately the time there is the biggest factor. Some good ideas from Team Liquid just fell apart in the late round.
Yeah, ultimately, after going down, they still get all the credits anyway, so it's just a few extra put in their pocket. They can play with, make sure they come in with
they got the plant, so
they definitely made that one a little bit more costly than Vitality would have liked.
My camera is destroyed.
Now is where we need to see a change to the script. They can't start off with a 3-0 deficit and take
yeah,
down
this
the
would be a rough
that's
start.
Not only him going down, but that's also so much control. He's normally sat with his cam.
Yeah, and he's the one that's meant to just like get info over towards A. Smokes go in.
Flanks open.
How many commit over towards the site? I like this from Kamek. He commits over towards spawn. They had to do something here in the 4v5.
Is all about. They're looking deep into the spawn for this fight. Where Safe is under threat and eventually.
Whoa, what a shot from Kiko as well. This decision to push spawn was everything. Made a doable round.
Oh, he's been stunned as well. He's got to fall back.
Keep an eye on Lesser.
Lower and lower. Less almost had the play. And in fact, with
dude, Darker into the bonus gets everyone. It's actually such a beast.
And then we can do it again. And you know what? Throw in a third one.
Wow.
Holy.
It's finally come down to a point
where wins the 1v1 here.
The crowd didn't even get
that guy's not watching. Sending it over towards site. Oh, that's nice though.
Everyone was shocked when we saw this man leave. We talked about
Dude,
it.
they're making the Phantoms look so strong.
And again. There is no one else in the world that could do things like
Yeah, they know how much that means.
consistent basis. And well, the thing is, the round as a whole, anybody who went through the middle of the map died from the side of Vitality. The only thing that stood in Liquid's way was Durka. And unfortunately for them, he was more than enough.
A brick wall. They could not get through him. Nats caught him the lurk last time, and it's not going to go much better this time.
Great trades.
Diced up Team Liquid on this site. They've ran into Trex.
Dude, they
with
put the ult into the eco.
It's still competitive though. There's rifles to be recovered.
Yeah,
the
they can get the
spike
guns.
is in Team Liquid's
The
control,
big investment.
And the plan just now coming in. Flash won't stop them. Showstopper though could
He's
cause
in
problems.
trouble.
This round though for Team Liquid, even just getting that expanded would be perfect. Unfortunately for them, they're quickly being overrun. Durka running out of heaven.
Yeah, and
to
Vitality
clean
will
up
take
at
the extra
4-0.
win of the openings.
Start Showstopper online for Durka in the next round when the investment comes in from Team Liquid. This is a damning start.
Honestly, I think the most fitting sign I've just seen in the crowd is one punch Durka.
Yep.
Every opponent he comes up against, he
One
hopes
punch
that they're
Durka.
strong enough. He hopes that he doesn't just knock them out with one foul swoop.
Okay. Rough start right
The
here.
fact is, that's exactly what he did in the prior round. It's still hard to forget, and for Liquid, well, you mentioned, or they mentioned on the desk, proactive pauses. I think it's needed. When you lose a round as brutal as that last one, responding can almost feel forced. Like you feel like you need to get back into the game sooner rather than later. And considering how the last two maps have gone, you're talking about a 13-6, 13-7. Like they haven't been particularly
Out of steam.
close.
I mean, they need to
You do not
try
want to
like
allow Vitality
problem
to
solve
continue this, because
on the fly without
let's not
demos.
even talk about the 4 players a little bit lower down. If you allow Durka
And
to
everything
keep
that they
doing
normally
things like
do.
this, it is over.
Like
And you
the
look back at last
arcade
map, look at the desk that we just
default,
had, and listen
already
to what
been
they were
shut down.
talking about, to what, albeit a slightly biased Sadek, might. But what he said, and someone like Les, 5-1. Durka's great. Durka got an ace, but Les putting in the rounds, one after another. For Team Liquid, solutions need to be found fast. Vitality, they're coming in with a different vibe on this map, setting the pace on their defensive side. And like I said, I was excited to see some of the aggression, but so far these first 4 rounds have been insane. And I expect a little bit more insanity now with rifles for everybody, some ultimates online and others close to being online. This round could be pure chaos.
Yeah, unfortunately for Kamek, his didn't
Yeah, they
have
go for the arcade
desired
default
effect
again.
when utilized. Safe's already going to have to give
yeah,
up.
that's very nice
Needs
as
a
well.
little bit
And
of
him just
control.
breaking this
Seen
just
this
means
from
that they have to use more util
Trex
to actually
already.
like clear behind the box, and they have to use the
Combination
boombot.
of util, the vines,
And
which
honestly, it looked like the
actually
boombot
gonna be
didn't
broken.
fully clear it, so they might
Well, it
not
seems like
be
Nats,
100%.
as always, is slowly learning the util setup. Defeating it before it causes them issues. Durka, though, he's got to be careful. There's a player right around the corner timing everything. And while Kiko, he finally puts him down.
But Les was waiting.
Oh,
And
that's
even
nice
taking
info
the
for
trap, he
Les as
manages
well.
to sidestep the shots.
Very
That's
nice
the
trade.
numbers back to square one. 4v4, but look what Les has now after early fight. Orbital
It's so
strike
hard to
is
win this
here.
map when
Trex
you lose your
catches
smoke.
the shoulder, and it's an easy kill.
At least get rid of the
Lurking in
crossfire.
background, and Les on his way. This site take needs to see a plant very soon. Stun held. Kicks just waiting for that plant. Maybe save could punish. But with that cage up, it doesn't look possible. I like the jump peek from Les. Oh, safe! I don't know what gave that away.
He thought he was running up through. He literally thought it was Nats.
Now they're not looking at
He
the
literally
front.
thought it was
And
Nats, like
has
taking
to
the
fill in
timing
the
after
gap.
being
He has
spotted
to
going
go
towards
and watch
site.
the site. So of course, safe deals with him. Now Kamek, well, he knows where safe is. Oops, that was almost awkward. With 12 seconds left, he needs a plant, and they've got enough time to just run this clock down. Kamek tries
it's
his
unlucky.
best to
He
force
thought
them
Safe
into
wasn't
a
gonna
fight,
send
and
it.
He did get to see them both before he died.
Looking
But Dahi
looking
will
good
still
at the
5
moment.
to 0.
They're very, very proactive on defense as well. As soon as they realize that they're doing this arcade
On the
default
desk
every
that
single time,
Durka was one
Durka
who had
and
pulled
Les on
off
this
a
one
reverse
are just
sweep
pushing out
before.
over
There's
towards A
another
main.
man on that team. It was incredibly close. Locking, loud, fanatic. Came down to the wire, and one man again stood in Les's way. It's a little bit different this time, as that man sits beside him, sits on the same team, and they are right at the top of
Vitality,
the
yeah,
board
dude, they're
right now, but
so
that's the thing.
phantom pilled.
It does seem like Vitality, with that extra experience, with those players we've seen, been there, done that, win Masters, win Champions, they haven't run out of gas. And I'm starting to ask the question, have Liquid 5-0 down on Fracture? We've seen this across the previous maps as well. After the second was done, it seemed like it was over. Have they got
Oh
a
my god, the
response?
timing's kind of incredible for this one.
Just that mental bounce back is so tough. It was discussed on the desk as well. Remains to
A
be
nice
seen
little
for
1-2
so many of
setup.
these players. This is a new
Kind of
challenge.
depends on the timing here.
Nice kills across the board, man.
No way. No way. Oh boy. Oh god. It's gone from bad to worse. Felt like it had something to do with the forms there.
These last two maps, and now they're tripping over themselves. Kiko's low. Nats is still lurking around, but they need a miracle.
Look at the ults, look at everything. There's nothing that sits in their favor right now. Stuck within the side of the salvo.
Dude, he took like a little time. He's like, wait, am I actually just fully wrecked here? That's very nice from Vitality. They're looking good on this map. Looking very good. Got a good amount of setups. The comp makes a lot of sense. It's pretty legit on attack too, and they've already got 6 rounds.
At least they were full eco to... Oh, wait. No, they weren't. They had rifles. That's an in-zone flawless up against... Oh, no. Oh, there was no need for this. There was no need for this. And it is the Razor Vine slowing him down, stopping him from getting out into sight. But look at the
And doing the
utility there in
damage.
the end as well.
That's the
We
thing.
saw it from Nats' perspective. Like, he's like, okay, I'll at least go for the plant. And then 15 things just come flying at him. Dude's dead.
Well, this has been the case. It feels like a lot of Liquid's attack so far is trying to find ways to deal with Trex's utility. And the second you do, you die in another way. Like, he's holding the angle, slows them down completely. They get into the site, and they're just getting slaughtered as they do. His wall catches them on the other side. And this was the thing. When we looked at his B setup initially, get caught by Nats, like get rid of it.
And Vitality
I was
kind of
like, okay,
clear
what's
their
next?
at least over towards
That was
Dish.
next.
Okay, Durka, he will struggle to land the first few shots. That won't last very long. Nade's already claimed one. He's there for a second, a third, in fact.
11-3.
They have got weaker weapons.
Oh, he's absolutely sending it as well. They're running at him.
Is brought against him 7-0.
Well, they got to do another timeout.
We've seen comebacks. We've seen them before,
And
but I'm starting to
dude,
think
I'll be
we're
honest,
seeing
the
a
rounds aren't
comeback
even
in
close
this
right now.
series. The reverse sweep is very much on.
Well, that's the thing. Again, we talk about EMEA champion sat within this stage. There's one man who, yeah, he won in stage 3. He won in stage 2. And again, you won't believe it, it's Durka. He's looking to make it the 3-peat of champions regionally in a row. I'll be honest, I think for this team, the expectation was to win this final. I think for the fans, the expectation was to win this final. But going 2-0 down in the fashion that
Double
they
timeout.
did,
It's got to be done.
struggling to face off against this Liquid squad. And now, well, if you'd shown me this as map 1, I would have just, well, even the last 3 maps, that's how I expected this series to go.
Yep.
It took a bit of time to awaken the beast that has been Vitality throughout this entire tournament. And unfortunately for Liquid, they couldn't shut them down quick enough because they have grown.
Dude, they got 5. I mean, they got 4 ults though.
And I'm now genuinely starting to wonder.
The problem is
what
I
will it
know
take
how
to get
strong
around
this
the
comp
board.
is
Well,
on
you know what,
attack.
Mitch?
And as long as
4 ults
Vitality have
Might agree with
spawn
you if Derby safe and
lineups
Trax didn't have their own
and
ultis
Liquid
to
can't
fight
flood
right back.
towards sites to defend them,
I respect that,
Four
Tom.
is more
it's
than
going to
3.
be done.
I respect that, Tom, but
Just ignore the neural then.
you're fighting the current in this one. Vitality in a BO5, we touched on it to start this out. You typically expect to see more
Going to
dominant
Bangkok?
maps
I don't think
at the
so.
start of a
I'm
BO5,
pretty sure
and
I'm
then
not.
you move to the mid grounds as the veto thins out. Coming from the upper bracket, Vitality, they kept the best to last by the looks of things. 13-6, 13-7, and a 7-0 start on
Dude,
map
and
number
a
5.
four
For Team
person-
Liquid, like you said, what's it gonna
They're
take?
expecting Dish
Got
so
all the
much.
ultis. Nats is
Gotta
in
be
trouble.
so careful. There's 4 players pushing
Yeah.
this north side. It seems
Because
like
this comp's
half
so
of
good
the
at retaking.
plan right now
And
for
honestly, they're up
Vitality is
against
just
so
kill
many
this
ults
Zerg. It makes it so
that they want to go
difficult. Even a
aggro.
1-for-1 trade, honestly, getting rid of
Yeah,
him,
and
holding
now
on
with
to
this,
so
they
much
push and they
control,
create
it's
so
not
much
too
pressure on the
bad.
rest of Liquid.
The thing is,
They
though,
got a group head over towards
all
B.
being tripped,
It does happen. So we can
someone
see
could
no
give
one's
the
over
game
towards
away.
site. They have no idea
Las's
about that.
plan is to just try and deny as much as humanly possible. Delay the opposing squad as they wrap back around.
Nice shots.
Good
Ooh,
work
nice
from Kiko,
shots.
though. This might finally be a number on the board.
It has to be. Big players against them, and Les is on a tear. No time to take your foot off the gas on this. Camo tagged up by the guided salvo. Les still with 2 smokes. Still with a stim beacon, still with a molly. Plenty of tools at his disposal, and look how passive Liquid are. They're biding their time, not wanting to give this one away. If Safe wins this, we might as well call it here and now. I think he'll be leaving.
Yeah, I mean, Safe's got
No,
so much money.
Why the hell would he leave?
no.
Why the hell would
He
leave?
just
No,
wants
you
to make
gotta
sure
fight
they
this
can
one.
do as
They got
much
the molly,
damage
so
as
they'll win
possible.
Regardless, at this point, all he has to do is make it costly, drop weapons, and
Drop
they're
one of
waiting
them.
for him patiently.
Okay, very, very nice. Big run from Kiko. It's unavoidable, Des.
I think Kiko
It's always
does
meant to
well,
be, I'm
because
sorry.
That's the thing. A lot of the problems for Liquid is how easily they've got rid of Nats. Like, he has been on those lurks every round, so they go fighting. If they meet the full team, okay, they can win the round brawling. If not, they meet Nats, and then they clear out the flanks. This time, they had Kiko lurking around as a second player, making sure that we didn't get surrounded. Well, luckily, it seems like Padatek, we heard it so much from the guys last year that he was a huge motivation. Someone who could bring them back.
If
Dude,
if Vitality win this, we got 2 people that can't buy
Gotta
next.
hope he can be that for Liquid here, because
So
as
Liquid
you
has to use some of
so
these
much
ults into
cash,
this if it gets
still
close.
those 3 ultimates. A lucky thing for Liquid though is they didn't actually use any last round.
It's been nice to watch the
It's the first round when Vitality haven't like been properly aggro. Nats gets a lot of dish control.
Such a turnaround last 2 years.
There's been like
Start
no
hearing,
sound
oh, no,
cues,
he's the
right?
spirit
So
of the
these 2
party.
would probably have pushed out
Brings us
again if there
of
was.
these low moments. Definitely matured as a player, and well, last year was just phenomenal from him. See if it can be more of the same. They need heroes to step up. They need consistency on Team Liquid. 4 ultimates still in the back pocket. This early aggression finally pushed back. Both players inside of A main should be sent running. Instead, they step forward and a very late guided salvo causing trouble. Durka was easy to take down.
Looks like the lack of play against the tail there kind of kind of owned him. He waited for them to land and then went.
Well, this is a bit better from Team Liquid.
Picking them apart. This is a scrappy round from Vitality, no doubt. I'm on Nats now. His lurk should come to fruition.
That's the
Never
best
mind.
possible
It's
round for
Camo that
Liquid.
takes
Let's
over.
see how many they can get on this one.
End
Only got
zone
1 armory by.
to get them back onto the
I've
map.
always spoken about how like a new agent has
seems
like a
they were
sweet
woken
spot
at the
where no
right
one knows
time,
how to
but
play
I do
against it for like the
question some of
first
the
2
choices
weeks.
there
This
from
was a
Vitality. I
prime
can't
example
believe
from
that
Darker here.
Communication went well when we saw that utility thrown through.
But,
Making
chat, was
things
this
a
not
lot
his
more awkward
own?
for Durka.
Was this
I
not
guess
his
not really
own
having space
salvos,
to
or
play
was
in
it
the way
the
he
enemy
wanted
team?
to. And then from then onwards, it was just slaughter left and right.
It was his own ones, yeah. Definitely,
Hero step up as well. I think
definitely
that
not
might
on the
be
same
Camo
page for that as
doubling
well.
his kills. Confidence builder and a much needed one at 7, 2 down. And the interesting thing is that Vitality, you know, they have that one little hiccup, 2 rounds that go the other way immediately. Faded and Malik calling for that pause. They want a moment with the team.
I think a timeout here is great
They're
though.
not
You
looking
just saw a
to
little
just claim
mistake.
victory here in the grand finals.
We don't know what the
They
comms
wanna
are like, but
dominate Liquid.
It's also just
maybe they could have been
we
annoyed by
know
it.
how important these
Safe
sort of
gets
first
the
halves
op out.
have been. Like, the team in the lead has pretty much closed out all the way through. We haven't seen those comebacks, so
I wonder if
I
this
don't
is like
think
the
they wanna
double.
even
If they're
give
gonna go double arcade and put the op here.
slightest
Who knows?
bit of notice to Liquid to get back into this map. Like, 7-5 is a very different story. We are talking about, honestly, after 7-0, I said, is there a chance they even get a round on the board? But they've started to come alive a little bit. As you mentioned,
Again,
some of
Nats
those
does the
players
same
that
thing.
have been
Safe
a bit
gets the op,
quieter
Nats
over
gets
the
the
last
op
couple
out.
of maps are starting to step
And
up once again,
looking
and I believe
like
the Vitality
Safe
want
is gonna
silence
salvo
that
down and then just
before
take the peak.
anything else can happen. Looking at Safe with early setup of utility.
Boombot's gonna own him a little bit.
Himself the operator.
Has
in
to wait
play.
for it,
Nats
takes the
does have
angle.
one on the other side, but they are not battling the same ground.
It's the same play for both teams, claiming the space
Yeah,
they think
and
is
obviously they
important.
know
The
they have
denial
enough
of
money
the
to get the
A-main
op
aggression
out,
by
so
Team
should be away
Liquid's
from
guided
this.
salvo,
Nats with his ult
and then the
sets up over
denial of
towards
B-main
Dish.
aggression by Vitality's. After the salvos go down and no one pushes, pump the brakes. Team Liquid are waiting for aggression. This is something we touched on. I was excited to see Vitality's tempered aggression. But so far, like, the spot that you're seeing
Dude,
here
they
at
got
the
nothing
door,
to clear this op
about
off.
as aggressive as they're getting most rounds without a real reason to
That
move.
is
And
so
then,
close to being a
when Team
double.
Liquid are forced to make a move, they go straight into saves up.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's the one additional thing they've thrown in for this round.
Ooh, that was nice with a stun on
I
top.
think that was a stun placed in to put Trex in an impossible scenario. It also leaves safe now without that.
Yeah,
extra
smokes go
utility.
down.
The
They got a
vines
free
would have
route
been
through
there to
heaven.
slow down
Does
this
safe
push
want to use
instead.
his ult?
They can just make their way through, and
Ah,
Less has been
Less
caught because
is
of it. Nice work from Camo once
absolutely
again.
gone for it.
Gotta
Put his
take
own
down to
smokes
cover the
down,
back
send
up
it
and
through, but he's on his
Eco.
own. Definitely there's
havoc
two situations, this
in
round,
the
last
under.
round,
This is,
where
well, even
Vitality
though
are
it's
not on the same
Armageddon,
page
but
with what's going on.
not looking very good for the side of Vitality, as Team Liquid have most certainly found their footing here. Durka, he's running for the hills. It's time to get out of here. And a costly enough one for the defensive side, especially coming out of that timeout.
I love the fact that there's a reaction from Liquid. Like, you talk about the way that
I mean,
this
I
round
like their
started. You have that
I
opening,
like
you
their
know that
timeout,
Durka's
their second
pressuring
timeout
A-main,
as
so you
well.
go back in the
Like
other
they're just being
direction. You
relatively
don't expect an
silent.
operator to be there, but
And
then you have
Vitality
that
have stopped going
combination
aggro,
forcing
and so
out
Vitality are now like
the player
waiting
of
for
Trex. So
sound to
there was no way he
react.
comes out of that
There's just no sound,
alive,
so
and you get control of the tower for free, puts you in a better post spawn. But that's been one of the bigger issues I think they've had altogether, is that
yeah,
when
this
they
was a bit of a
walked into
disastrous
Trex's
round from
Vice Center,
Vitality, to
they
be
have
honest with you.
died. Like, they have had some
Like, it
sort
should
of
be so
crossfire
easy with this
that
here.
causes them issues, and
And then we got Less
everyone's
smoking
talking about
down,
the
sending it
stun
on his own, no
combination
one
with
else
the
sending it,
strike.
and then we got a
Once that
late
utility's
ult
gone, it's a
from,
much easier walk
Safe.
into the site, and that's where you see Vitality have to take risks, have to try and take timings.
What in the world was that?
That's the pep talk they need.
That's... Yeah, you wonder what's being said in these moments, but it's only the things that matter. Clean columns. Operator for both sides, it's Nats and Safe. And Nats, big fan of the Outlaw. He's got
Okay,
the
damage
big
for
boy this
damage.
time. Denied
They
any
put the
early
wall
aggressive
down here,
move.
dude, it's
This
a
has
weird
been the
one.
same thing. We don't see Vitality push up all that much. But now, what's the
Yeah,
different story?
this makes a lot
Now
of
they've got
sense.
4
They might
players
get
dished,
incredible
and this
timing,
is just as
or
Team
it might be
Liquid are sending
awful.
players across that rope, sending the spike across that rope, rolling
Oh,
thunder.
it looks
It's going
kinda
to be put
good.
in. Potentially, I saw it lined up for a moment, but it's not put into
Dude,
play.
that stun
Big
was
fight
not
for
safe. Got
Safe.
all
That's a
three.
three-piece picked up, and the operator maintaining control of Spike in the late round. Team Liquid, they can make their way to the site, sure. What's it going to do for you when you got to push right back into that op?
Trades on trades, yeah.
He's low on
And his
HP.
teammates kind of
That's the
locked.
one
They kind of
saving
locked this
grace
one
in
down. His
scenario,
teammates in
but
charge
also
of all of
there's
this.
an operator on the other side. I feel like Camo almost has to
Feel like we've
try
been
and
here before.
battle this first. Yeah, he's gonna
Oh,
raise it, but Safe doesn't
that is
miss.
so sick from
And now
Safe,
falls
though.
back to the rifle.
That is so
Knowing he
sick.
has
They went for the jump
advantage,
peek
knowing
into
his
the
teammates there
swing.
with him. There'll be another quad kill for Safe. No ace to be had, but he doesn't mind.
Yeah, that's impressive.
A smile across his face as he wins, almost individually wins the round. I think there was a solid stun here and there, but he was the one that had to land the shots.
Oh my goodness. The fact that
You
everyone's
could see
jumping
the
around
you
just
could see the lack
like
of play
we
with
saw
the
seconds later.
ult as
Camo
well, right? The ult
attempted
could have
to
been better.
Back onto
for
a
his
list.
teammate.
Thank you.
But it just doesn't matter. Save 14-5 right now. There's a reason.
The tail ult
that
was like
I think to some
this,
extent we
right?
were
Started
surprised
like
to see
back
this guy
here
go
and went
to
to here.
an
Imagine if they
IGL.
actually
Not
started like
because of things he said,
the
because he's
whole
always
line.
talked about it, but
would have forced him out into the open.
because he's so useful as a duelist and as a tool for the team. But instead, he's trying to master the whole flow of it. And so far, man, Vitality are looking good under his leadership.
This round started with at least an attempt to try and battle away a main from Vitality.
Yeah, and they go back to this default. All hits everyone. Stim pack. Oh, that's an incredible reactive stun.
Met with a rolling thunder. It's going to be a lot of damage done on either side, but finally it's Nats to come in with a kill.
God, they
We've
actually
spoken
came
about
out on
the
top of
lurk,
that.
we've
Good
spoken
to
about the
do it.
backline, but we've also talked
Huge
about
shout out to
Durka.
Patty
It's
here.
only going to be the one for him. Kick still watching onto that cross. Spike needs to get there, and while Kamek goes ahead of the smoke and wins the battle anyway. This leaves
Oh,
just
nah,
two
he's
standing.
stunned then,
Operator
Norwood.
for
I'm pretty
Trex,
sure.
Definitely not the ideal weapon here.
Spike planted.
He does have Steel Garden though. Could potentially take their guns away.
Yeah, it might be worth committing, but he's hoping to find the pick first. It won't be given to him. So instead, down into under he goes. Ult active for maximum coverage. Might be able to get out of there for Nats, but the others are all going to be caught down to secondaries. Kiko up close though. He's got a real chance.
It's like the best thing ever.
Primary, he doesn't need it. Safe. Well, it's looking like Team Liquid will have 4
Hey, managed to get
to
4.
close out the half. It's not a dream
So
scenario.
we weren't looking to the fact that this comp should be good.
Yeah, they at
And
least made a
that
decent
it's maybe an
recovery.
attack side map as well.
Thrown in 4 of the last 5. It gave them some life, but as said, this has been a map or a
Not bad after the 7-0. No, yeah, you're super happy with it. Liquid need to be proactive on their defense. Like very, very proactive. Just trying to jinx Vitality. I mean, it is attack sided. Okay, so pretty much what you're going to see here is the Vice is like incredible if they have molly sorry chat. They have molly lineups to make sure that you can't fast flood over towards sites. So as long as they have like molly lineups, as in Vitality, that go to the default positions of where people would fast flood, right? Like we saw Les try and do, then Liquid are gonna have to start pushing on the sites. And also the Vice is like, so you see how Nuts a lot of the time was doing like a 4-1 default with Nuts getting info of his camera, or they even doing like 3-2 default with the camera getting info. The problem with the Vice is you kind of have to always do 3-2s because the Vice can never like hold and get info, right? You would normally have a 4-1 setup with the Cypher, and the Cypher would have like a cam that spots both of these, and then you could go across the rope and join as a 5. The Vice doesn't really have that luxury, so you want to try and push because you know that 2-3, like one of these sides, is always going to be weak for a push.
And now they move to their defense.
Yeah, to say they need a pistol is an understatement. That could be enough to put them to bed, but oh, you know, the Liquid fans, the Vitality fans, they're definitely still awake. No one
Is it wraps for Liquid? If they get a pistol and they start going aggro, they can win it.
It's going to take a lot to get there.
It's rough
Again,
though.
the defensive side have a similar idea, looking for these aggressive players, but they have to watch out for Vitality or forcing them back and then pushing Dish at the same time.
Oh my god, he literally just went into the smoke into a crossfire. That nade is incredible from Camo as well.
Dropping last with the nade as well.
Yep, the first step is winning the pistol.
A big uptick in performance.
They got a nice crossfire, and eventually these smokes are going to fade as well.
On the back foot with the spike separated. They may be looking to take this somewhere else.
Yeah, they've still got time to play with.
Dude, if Vitality don't have the molly lineups, then Liquid don't really have to do too much.
If we sit here long enough,
like if they don't have Vine lineups for fast floods,
maybe that's the moment where the defense
here and
decides
here,
to falter, but they haven't moved. They are reliant. This is something
they can
we've
just
seen
kind of play normal.
Rosters of Liquid. They're happy to leave Nats alone. The problem for Camo though, he's under serious pressure.
Dude, we've seen so many kills where people are like inexperienced playing against the Teo.
Which leaves it in a 2v2.
Timing perfect. Kicks was being watched that whole round, finally drops out of heaven with the spike, and it's just as they turn the other way. That's going to give them a chance to plant and maybe get back. Safe's third already on the board. Oh, he's just been phenomenal to watch. 17
what a
6,
shot.
But he needs another.
Opens the door, goes back.
Kiko that he's up against.
Yeah, creates pressure like he could have gone amen.
Head to head. Safe hiding on the site. And he swings in, giving him a fright, but won't land the shot. Guided salvo to buy him time, to buy him space as the clock keeps on ticking. Safe sidesteps into main.
Holy HP, 7.
Not quite landing, holding on by a sliver of health. And the quick reposition.
Oh my god, Safe might own this.
He's made it past Safe with the perfect timing and the perfect
Holy, Safe played it so well.
To match the rounds of Liquid. It's 9 for Vitality.
Yeah, use the brain.
He's in their head. He's completely in their head. What he's able to
Mate, he's having an absolute map.
this round. the amount of damage that he did. It was said by Kicks already that this man back on a duelist, well, it might not be defined that way, but the way he's using it definitely seems to be the case. And while he just ran rings around Kiko, someone who has been an unstoppable force this season in EMEA.
Vitality allowed one death from this.
Liquid, hoping they can just make
where do we end on the
at
pistols, right?
least a bit
6-4.
At least remove some
I'm pretty
guns,
sure
because
Vitality with a 2-0
the
on this.
likelihood is, without a miracle, they're going to be fighting with a 6 deficit.
I must wait a moment.
It's too much. It's too big of a task. Oh, it's a cleanup for Trex. Quick little double.
I have
easy
no
shots.
idea.
Nats wrapping around the back.
Oh god,
Get nothing.
devastating.
Les survives that on 21 HP. You know, I know the second Nats rounded that corner, Sadik was in the analyst room going, he's going to win this. And he did. Fair play.
The top salvo got under.
win
Yeah,
that
it's
one,
like a circle. It's
Cameron's
fair.
found another. They've retrieved a rifle. I believe the sniper of Trex must have fallen off the map because it wasn't retrieved after that previous bout.
Wait, that's kind of smart. If you're anti-eco, you play on the edge here. It's like what people do on Abyss. But when you die, it would fall off the edge.
Potentially delivering it
Cool.
back to your opponents, but at the same time, you're at such a big deficit in terms of rounds. There is a feeling of must, a feeling of need to try and get something done here. The problem again, though, is that timer. They are being given nothing. Finally, Durka is going to be the one to fall, but you can see the positions of the remaining 2. There is absolutely no hope, and while another will be dropped,
Yeah, I mean, they did incredible damage.
All in all, a decent round. But in the context
Bonus
of the game,
rounds here for Vitality, you would imagine they do their fast strat.
Yeah, it is just economy damage.
Stingers,
When are you going to
fast
see
strat.
that economy broken? Got to put rounds on the board, and so far that has been a problem.
yeah, the gun went off the map.
Yeah, that's cool. You play
brutal.
far back there and the gun will always
Didn't even
fall
pop
off.
that. Yeah, that's an unfortunate one. Poor old Lescott down below, but geez, they had everything they needed with that guided salvo back online. 20
Safe
kills
is, yeah,
for
safe is 20 to
6.
6.
The guy is untouchable.
Okay,
at
here
the
we go.
moment
Like we
for
said, fast strat.
Vitality.
They go fast over
If
towards
that
B.
continues, this is gonna be a
Scatter
quick
nade for the
conclusion
trip.
to
Salvos
a
over towards
5-map
heaven.
round.
Drone towards site. And we have the Vine
Allowing
lineup.
Durka to be
Oh
the hero,
boy.
as he will pick up
That's what I was looking out
Stinger.
for.
This is
Oh,
still a
this
weaker
pulse.
purchase, although, well, I think that's a nasty surprise. That was the rifle. Nats is going to be stunned in this corner, but there's not really anybody available to execute on it. And well, after the wall has given away this spot, they are looking to try and fight the backline, but it has to be impressive from Les.
Well, if he wins this, I heard, at least the first will be found. Camo down, but it's the trade. Keeping it well and truly in an advantageous spot for Liquid. Safe. Well, this is an unfortunate
that's a
situation.
freebie.
Kicks was on the rope across to help his buddy out and gets sniped straight off it. And with a clean conclusion to the round. 3 players
2 gun
alive.
rebuys,
Team
1
Liquid,
armor
they're
rebuy.
not out just yet, but they are most certainly down 10-5.
This
They
is
need
the
to
round.
double up before we're neck and neck.
Yeah, and I kind of want to see how they're going to opt to play this defense, because as said, it's been a common factor of Nats-led teams that he is on one side, locking it down, and then they aggress elsewhere on the map.
Dude, you gotta love those ones.
This is something that if you're Vitality, you're going to know about. And at times, they've been able to beat him out. I think on this map in particular so far in the attack, they decimated Nats. They kept catching him in awkward positions. We see it now. Okay, he's got some support in the form of Kiko, but that doesn't seem to be something that Vitality are shying away from. Bear in mind, though, a lot of the early round will just be orb control.
Well, that's it. On a map like this, plenty of orbs as you go to fight for them. Sometimes you think, I'll take another step forward. And Camo learned the hard way that there's sometimes a punish waiting for you there. Safe. 21, but he's got backup. Look who's just come sprinting in. Even puts down the stim beacon. Les.
Yeah, but this is nice from
He
Liquid.
is
In
very
reaction, they
keen
go
to help
aggro
his
over
teammate
towards
out when they're in
tree.
trouble. He's still stepping
Kamek
forward
has to
in
do
A
so
main.
much.
And it's a good thing
Oh
too, because
boy.
the flank is coming around. Look at this push-up by the defensive
Yeah,
side.
and they gotta
2
deal
players
with the
taking control,
wall.
But they're too late.
And they're
The sprint is
running.
hurt. The sprint is hurt. They now know there's players coming behind them. They've killed Paddy on site as well. Everything's falling apart. Look at Les set to step out of this smoke, although it fades, and he backs around the corner, not wanting to give the advantage away.
The problem is as well, the wall isolated them. It allowed Kiko through, but left Nats behind. It's turned this 2v5 into an even tougher scenario that, yeah, I think they just have to.
Yeah, they do have to
duck
save.
out of their aggression wasn't anywhere near as successful as they hoped it to be. Camo dropped immediately. The trade not found either. And then Panatech not able to do anything within the site. Vitality
The reverse sweep. Oh,
looking
dude.
to keep their break
Holy
back
hell.
squeaky
Hold up,
clean.
chat, we're dying.
That's the thing. They saved their finances for this round to make sure that they could come in as strong as possible.
There was even opportunities at the end there, Tom. The 2v5, Safe is caught in
Yeah,
the open,
looks like
swinging
it's on.
out by Kiko. I think was still.
Because it's going to have to be a mad round. They can't
and
buy too
Safe,
much on top of
despite
this.
being 21 health from the fight earlier.
They got
He's able to drop
1-9
Kiko to
loss
27.
bonus.
Instantly, you call for the save. There's no way. One
Last
guy
day,
basically
yeah.
alive against 5.
We need that week
Play
off.
for next. And even now,
The voice is giving
barely
up.
getting away with the weapons that they had. 11 to 5, 6-round gap, and for Vitality, closing this out. Well, in a lot of cases, Tom, it's a formality with this sort of a gap. You need to see one of the biggest resurgences, big turnaround for Team Liquid.
And that has not been the story of the day.
Will the draw be after this?
Whoever
Yes,
has led in
should
that
be.
No
first half
comebacks.
has
what we've been told.
closed out the map. We've seen it throughout the series. For Liquid at this stage, it will come down
Patty.
to
Okay, so they're
digging
all in.
deeper
Patty's
than
one away from his ult.
pretty much any
So
of
they
them
should
ever
probably
had to before.
go get an orb, maybe.
To look for that trophy, look for that championship. Otherwise, Vitality will have that trophy. And sure, for some of the players, Safe, less. Durka, they've had trophies, but for Vitality, it is not.
Yeah, that's a
cabinet
great
full.
pick.
That's a good
And like we
start,
said, they
though.
need to be a little bit
Weaker weapons
proactive on this
the board,
one,
an
so
aggressive Kiko is
these
gonna
kind of
give them an
pushes
advantage.
pretty much have to happen.
At least the one found in a big player in the form of Safe. Durka, he has slipped through, but he's spotted. Okay, Nats is wise to his trick. Spike has been dropped as well. Maybe a drop in the ocean. But it is starting, or will start to add up if they can continue to put these rounds on the board. For Vitality, 2v5, it's not like they're in a position where they have to save economically, but unless there's a
From top,
big
bottom,
mistake
Bangkok
made
is
by
stacked.
Liquid,
No,
someone
it looks really,
walking
really
through a
stacked, yeah.
smoke with their knife out, you wouldn't see that unless you're on bind. It should just be the save from these attackers.
It's very hard to call who's going to
It's
win
a
it.
tough call to have to make.
I
with like a
imagine
minute 30 on
G2
the
are
clock.
favourites,
Yeah,
but
that's the thing. It
I'm
seems
not
like the plan
entirely
has been
sure.
30 seconds
Try and
left.
earn up
I think everyone will have their own
any
opinion on
orbs
it.
that they can find.
Not ready yet.
Trax is still going to be moving in, but
Second Chinese
where the
team,
spike
Trace.
is,
Yeah,
this is
Trace
not
look good
about
as well. Like the
winning
Chinese
rounds,
teams are
it's about
going to look
making
and
things a
hold
little
their
bit more
own for
costly.
sure.
And I think realizing, okay, there's a multitude of
Like
players
they'll get
here,
some
the value
upsets.
isn't really there
30
anymore. For
seconds left.
Liquid, there is value in removing these weapons. They will still be able to purchase into the next round, but immediately
Good hit.
the Vines utilized. He knows they're under pressure, but this crossfire set, well, I don't think they're going to gamble too many more weapons. Okay, they really wanted to try
kinda
and take
costly.
those guns away, and that's actually more costly than I would have liked for Liquid.
Yeah, they're not in the best of positions, especially needing that massive climb back, but I guess seeing the value of potentially dropping those weapons and making that road a little bit easier, paving it slightly and avoiding the pebbles. 11 to 6. Again, a very steep climb back for Team Liquid, but not out of the realms of possibility just yet. Coming into this
Sure.
round,
I mean,
though,
they can buy light armor.
geez, it's going to be chaos.
Actually, no,
Look at those
yeah, they
ultimates.
can buy light armor.
So much
And tank a
available
loss in.
for either side. In fact, there's a world where Vitality could have every
No
single
matter what happens,
ultimate.
both teams probably force buy after
See
this.
if Liquid can almost stop them in their tracks. It's an aggressive
There's so
start
many
to the
good
round,
ults around
already
here.
looking to push
Yeah,
up that
Liquid have got a
north
great
side.
idea of what they
Was
need to
being watched
do.
by Les, but he's got
They
to
have
keep an eye on it
insane
while
timing
also
on
setting
this.
up his smokes. That means that this defense has been able to push far further than expected. The problem now, though, is their guns are going to dissipate. Durka leading the charge.
Wait.
Hasn't actually been able to find
Dude, how's Nats avoiding
Darts his
everything
way
here?
out of there.
Les, dude,
in the
Les
meantime,
has
has
done
held that flank
so
down.
much work. He stopped the
Already
double
looking
flank.
like a nail is in the coffin here. Kiko waiting. He's going to try and smoke them off, try and find a gap to get them back into this round.
It's starting to get to the point, Tom, where it's not even a nail in the coffin. We're starting to cover it with dirt at this point.
Nats, yeah,
Climb
got
up for
util
Team
dumps.
Liquid. We wanted it to start here or
You got all
continue
dumped.
here, but instead an interruption. And seemingly no chance. But Kiko
yeah,
gonna give it his
Tail
best whip anyways. Found
Razor,
himself one, but
and
now he's
Visor.
left alone. An ace needed. Time dependent as well. And at this point, getting out of here is not going to be a possibility. 12 to 6 again. Liquid need to double the rounds to find themselves neck and neck. That will get them in overtime. One slip,
Yeah, one away.
one stumble.
The reverse
This
sweep
is over.
is...
They get to sit on the sidelines.
Dude, it's
and
so
watch-
hard for
watch
Liquid as
Safe
well.
Super team.
Because eventually all these
trophy.
ults are going to be up.
But the thing as well is now, you talk about that last round, hunting down those weapons. and the failure of it. They're actually going to have pieces missing. Kamek left with just a pistol at Guardian for Paditek, and they did use themselves.
Any situations to smoke there on site and sit? No, I think you're right.
Vitality set.
You have to know the device is going to do the normal killjoy.
But they are not rushing for
okay,
it.
6 chances.
They are waiting with anticipation, expectation for their opponents to make a move. Try and stop their checkmate. Durka, though, he's already spotted the first. Does he expect the second? He does not.
Well, it is Nats to find the first. They see him there. Know that there's going to be some support alongside him, and the brakes are
pretty hard for them to
smoke.
get down drop now.
After it fades, they'll have presence inside of A main, but right now Nats is repositioned to try to deal with that. They haven't got utility to fire through, unless maybe we're going to see a Brim Molly to open it. But Nats is waiting for their aggression. Instead, it's around to main. They're going to make this a much more
It's a pretty nice
direct
reaction
approach.
from Vitality,
Orbital
though.
Strike, Rolling Thunder, available and
Lose their
online.
entry, take
But
one across
offsite
the
play
rope,
for Team
2-2
Liquid just to
split, and
avoid that.
the people on A main go fast.
They've got to try and
3 smokes down.
get past what is an abundance of ults. Nats is going to double up. He's going to get the information. No, there's
Nice
no
shot.
secrets. And the leader looks to try and take this one over the line himself. Keep them in this map. Les already back into the site. Kicks. Has found a kill, but getting out of there should be impossible somehow, though. This has come
Yeah,
back
most
to
people
1
would have
versus
questioned
2.
the ult, but kind of
Les
had to be used.
still standing.
Orbital Strike.
Hoping
He has his
to try and
ult
get
and a
back
molly.
into a position. He also has himself a Molotov as well. If he wanted to try and play,
Is he going to
from
jump
further
molly,
back,
or
trying to bait them into these fights,
is he
try
going
and
for
push
kills?
them into a position
Jump molly.
where they have to face him. There is that molly, but he expects someone close. It may not deny this defusal in time. He needs
Yeah,
to
he missed
swing
it.
and while Liquid, they do cling
Close,
to
though.
life just
really
about.
close, considering it's a 2v5.
By their nails on the cliff's edge. Might not be pulling themselves up just yet, but they are holding on dearly.
How is this even close, though? That's the thing that's
It
so
is, yeah.
devastating. Like, you're looking at Nats
1, 2,
basically
3.
clean up and leave his team
Info.
with 2 players in the site and an orbital strike on one of their heads. Like, how does this even become competitive for a second?
Well, again, Orbital Strike goes through. Player swings in. Why? Why is it happening? And I think we look at the
Yeah.
position that we're in. You're
Not
5
wrong.
maps in, you're deep. You were 2-0 up.
Dude,
Now,
Duck is getting
Vitality are
wrecked at the
pulling out all
moment.
the stops. They're winning out these early rounds, and then the panic sets in. Kamek's open this one up, though. It's Durka down. It's A main aggression denied, or at least stalled for a moment
He just got sent in
Somewhat
into
neutered
so
without
much
Durka.
util on a crossfire.
at the tip of that spear.
There's only one ultimate left in hand. Vitality have been utilizing them over the last few rounds.
I kind of like this from Vitality again. I feel
Throwing
like their
them into play
reactions
to
in
try and
the once they
get
lose
this
the
one
first kill
sorted.
is pretty
That's
nice.
a nice flash, and Les may just try and do it all on his own. Kamek, though,
Big
matches it
kills.
man for man, pound for pound. And well, the last man is on the wrong side of the map. If he tries to go through this setup, he knows he'll be spotted. And with the spike still down in A main, there is a world where he retrieves it.
He's got time. Plenty of time. Kamek low. Camo tagged. It could be possible. Some isolated fights, but really, you just look
feel
at
like we've
Camo,
seen
he's
Trex
jump
do
spotting. He goes
crazier
towards A
things.
main, gets spotted. Rotations come into play. Kamek's looking at you. Armageddon's online as well. There's no
The
easy
longer
way
this
out there.
time goes down,
20
though,
seconds left.
I mean, he's going to start
Rotation
running. It
B-side
might just be a
needs to
safe.
happen
Yeah, I think he's
already.
holding-
We'd have to
holding
have
the
the
gun.
knife out
Yeah.
and him just sprinting. So yeah, he will just save this weapon. It's the right call. And I think especially it's easy to lose sight of that 5-round lead at this point, but you're in a grand final. Got to play the numbers.
It would be nice.
Saves the
to be
spike
that
too, yeah.
guy that takes
Don't
you
get
over
anything
the
for
line.
that,
And, well,
but
I feel like in this round, Les
he's just trying to see if he can get a kill. And then if he's gifted a kill, then he can go for it.
Kamek that just did an incredible job, like being able to re-swing and I think find 2 players off that alongside his team.
One enemy remaining.
That could have easily been the death of Liquid, but they're still fighting. We've said it throughout the tournament so far. They were a team that, okay, we didn't expect them to.
Okay, let's
to
keep the
be
countdown going. We've
good.
got
We
4
didn't expect
chances.
them to be heretics.
They had loads of
We definitely
stingers.
don't expect them to
Okay,
beat
3 stingers
Vitality,
still.
but that has been their story. They made it to Bangkok. They earned their champions points. But they are not satisfied with a 2nd place.
Why do I feel like Dark is going to have to send it again?
They want more.
Oh,
But they are under pressure once again. Durka leading the way.
He's had a rough couple of rounds.
Kamek is utility there to stall out the rest. Nice shots. Trex landing it onto Kamek.
Well, Kamek is so good to get that kill, but yeah, there's so many mollies. And we had molly on this smoke, Fawn's on the heaven, so they just couldn't flood in. So we're kind of talking about earlier. Oh boy. Looks like that's it. Kicks has got his ult to secure it. Can just literally wait for contact and ult. Dude, actually, this was a pretty legit final. Very, very nice. Shout out to Vitality, the super team. Yeah, I knew he was going to say it. They said they were made to win trophies.
If you tuned in halfway through, you might have thought this was a dominant series, but it started very differently. Liquid came out of the block swinging. They proved